we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means, on infiltration instead of invasion, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. There is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it.
All right, welcome to episode 159 of the Abuse Hour. It is I, your host, Coffee Long, coming to you unsupervised, unmedicated, and an unchecked threat to society. So I'll tell you, I don't have that awful much to I'm in total theorizing mode. The stuff that's going on is stuff that you already knew was going on, but I think the only real thing here is to try to make heads or tails of it. And I guess that this is one of those situations, looking generally at the state of things right now, especially vis-a-vis your Trump and your Levin and your Rubio and this assortment of clown asses. I think the only real takeaway, the biggest takeaway, is probably that adage that the medium is the message. And I remember this, I first heard this, and I think I had mentioned it before, that way back when I was dealing with informants and trying to figure out, is this guy going to throw straight dice? Is this guy going to do what I need him to do? The best lessons that I ever got for working that kind of a thing came through the pickup artist scene, and probably the single best lesson that I got from all of that, so best of the best here, it's like some natural selection type shit, is that the medium is the message. Often as not, the medium is the message. So what you're getting, that's what you're meant to take away. So, you call some girl and she refuses to call back. Oh, gee, maybe she's into me. She's really busy. She's got a lot going. She's got to wash her hair and this kind of thing. And at the end of the day, what you learn eventually is that, as it applies specifically to women, if a woman wants to see you, she will crawl through barbed wire and charge machine gun nests to see a dude she wants to see. If it's a dude she don't want to see, my phone wasn't charged. Oh, yeah, I probably have something going on. Oh, yeah, I have to help a friend do some shit. I just can't remember exactly what, so please don't ask me. And I'm kind of in the middle of something. I'm cleaning my kitchen right now, so I got to let you go. All right, this is not a case of oh, bro, it's just that, just the timing, this, that. And yeah, timing can be an issue in real life sometimes. But especially where women are concerned, if there's something they want, you're going to know. There's going to be smoke signals. You're going to be your phone blowing up. There won't be a mistake. That is the message. So here, the same thing, I think, applies when we're looking at your Trump or your Rubio. What the fuck is going on? What are these guys thinking? Well, what is the medium here? What is the general vibe of what's getting put out? So I think when you look at this, you got on one hand, you've got the 82nd and a metric shit ton of Marines getting shipped over there. You've got assets being pulled from Asia. You've got all kinds of things, but then you've got these mixed messages, what you would take initially as mixed messages. And that is Trump coming out here talking about, we are actually in a form of negotiations here. We're talking with these guys. It's very favorable, incredibly favorable, very reasonable. These people not as reasonable as the last people. The most reasonable in a long time, some would say. Incredibly reasonable. So you're hearing this, but then you're seeing this huge movement of people and assets, and then this total blackout on information and a lot of smokescreen and misdirection. I mean, outright misdirection, I think, especially where this carrier situation is, because now they're looking at sending yet another carrier group. So the, what is this, Gerald Ford? I mean, I don't know that, it's going, oh yeah, guess what? That didn't work out. And now it's going somewhere else. Abe Lincoln, yeah, it's going, oh no, it's going somewhere else. So now they're talking about, I want to say it's the Kennedy that they're pulling. And I mean, I couldn't tell you for certain that that's even an aircraft carrier. But as I recall, that is the carrier group that they're looking to send now. So when I pair that with the stuff that was coming out last night, the talk from the Orange Retard, and the stuff that you're hearing here was like, yeah, we're having really good talks. Maybe this wraps up in a week, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks at most. But definitely, yeah, I'm thinking 2 weeks. Like, dude, 2 weeks is what a motherfucker tells you that's building your porch. Where you're like, hey, how long do you think this is going to take? Oh, 2 weeks, bro. I'll have this knocked out in no time. Yeah, 2 weeks tops. Like, oh, man, shit. You know, it's always 2 weeks. 2 weeks from everywhere. So, looking at this, some of the specifics of the shit this guy was talking about, the vibe that he was given during these talks was that he's accomplished everything that he feels like he needs to accomplish, and that now he's going to pull back, and we don't really need oil that would come through Straits of Hormuz, and instead of that, we're just going to get our own oil. It's not a problem. Everybody else, you know, you don't want to contribute, you don't want to help. Okay, you know, you're big boys and girls, and if this is something that you really want, you go ahead and you go with it. I kind of feel like and it's hard to put a finger on, you know, knowing that we're not in the room for 99% of these conversations, right? We don't really know what's being said or how it's being said or what threats are being made or what information is being leveraged. So when we look at this, we have to go by just kind of the vibe of the thing. And the impression that I get based on this guy talking about how, hey, man, these other NATO countries, you know, maybe we pull out of NATO. And I don't think he said that. I think Marco Rubio said that. But, hey, maybe we pull out of NATO. You know, what about that? Talking about, you know, we don't even actually really need this. We were talking about regime change. Regime change has occurred. We don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. They don't have a nuclear weapon. They're not going to be able to have a nuclear weapon, which is essentially like you have backtracked to the position that Obongo was in, except now oil prices are fucked up. Like places like the Philippines are talking about food shortages because like fishermen can't even go fish. The price of everything is on the up. But just the same, I guess, you know, we could say that shit all day, but looking at what do you have, I think the impression that I get is that there's a lot of world leaders being leveraged by these tiny hats. I think we've all said that for a long time. A lot of world leaders being leveraged by these tiny hats. And everybody's talking about, oh, they want us to do something. They want us to do something. Who's going to do something? You going to do something? I'll go if you go. Are you going to go? I'll go. You go if I'll go. And eventually it turned out to be the orange one who finally was like, okay, they want us to go do this. I'll go. I'll start it. I'll get it going. And then everybody else, I think, and this is the impression I get, everybody else, your France, maybe not so much Spain, definitely England, France, England, Germany, all just kind of stood and watched and like, yeah, go team. Good job, dude. You're getting them. No, you're good. You got this. And now it's like, well, fuck, all this talk about, oh, we got to do something. The international community should do something. And because I don't remember anybody bitching and I ain't defending the orange one here, but I don't remember anybody bitching when it was all just talk. When it was like, oh, you know, these Iranians are a threat, you know, and I don't know, bro, I don't know. Obviously, there was some talk about, yeah, but fuck Israel, because nobody likes them. But nobody was really complaining about, nah, dude, don't do that. It might fuck everything up. Nah, man, come on, let's see if we can talk it out. I don't think anybody was saying that. Like your France, your Germany, definitely fucking England. I mean, they'd have to say it in Arabic anyway. But nobody was saying shit. And now that the orange one has made his move, everybody's still standing there like dick in hand and like, yeah, no, bro, you got this. And I mean, I thought it was kind of fucked up anyway. Dude, I don't even know why you did that. So if I think of it that way, you could kind of see, I think, where the orange one might say, well, you know what, dude, you guys said you were good with this and now you say you're not. So if you want to come handle this, then fine, you come and do it. Again, I'm not trying to give too much credit to the orange one because it could be just complete seat of your pants. Like nobody knows what the fuck anybody's doing. but I am inclined to think there's got to be some level. Maybe I'm giving a lot of benefit of the doubt here. Like maybe somebody's not completely retarded here. Is anybody in this room got a fucking brain in their head? So it seems like how last time I was saying, hey, it all looks very bad. Somebody's going to have to pull an absolute rabbit out of the hat if this thing is going to work at all. It seems like possibly. I mean, and if it goes this way, I will tip my hat that this motherfucker is in fact a 4D chess fucking genius. I don't think it's really going to go this way. But in the unlikely event that it does play out in a way similar to what I'll outline, I will say this dude is motherfucking 4D chess genius. So here's a way that I think, again, hopeful white pill. Here is a way that I think it could play out and, save the fucking day or some kind of thing. So check this shit out. So Israel wants you to attack Iran. Israel launched this thing, and I think when somebody knows what you're going to do, right? Everybody knows what your fucking plan is. It's pretty obvious. I see what your fucking plan is here. It's pretty obvious that they either let it happen or deliberately made it happen, this October 7th thing. And I think that was step one of your Greater Israel project, because this whole thing just rolled. I mean, if you look at this from Israel's perspective, how many countries, dude, in a couple of years? So if you got, total 9/11 Pearl Harbor job off the top rope, flying elbow, and now you're caught off guard and a bunch of people got killed, holy shit, and you're trying to stay on your feet, this isn't the time that you just start hammering your fucking neighbors and making demands and all of these other mechanisms get put in motion. That's not honest. That's not how this went down. These motherfuckers, I think, put this thing in motion. They had that little beeper thing as well as God knows what else, all lined up and ready to go. They moved on Syria. They moved on Lebanon. They fucking steamrolled Gaza. And now they're looking at, we want fucking Iran. Iran is like one of the last dominoes standing. I mean, Jordan is everybody's bitch. Saudi, I heard a joke. I don't remember, maybe somebody posted it in the chat. But there was this joke that Saudis are actually Jews, and or that Saudi spawned from a Jew who accidentally followed a coin into a mosque. like a coin rolled into a mosque, and one of these fuckers like, oh god, I can save a little shekel or two. I'll shave this fucker up real nice and get it out the door. And by all accounts, that is how they have gotten down, man. Like, this shit is in your backyard, dude, and what are you doing? I mean, you got enough money you could get Colombian mercenaries all day and night. You doing anything? Nah, man, I'm gonna stand and watch, bro. It's cool. It's all right. I'm good over here. So looking at this then, it's pretty obvious that this was Israel's plan. We are launching our Greater Israel project. And they kind of didn't have a choice. If you were going to go, it has to be now. Because the boomers are fucking dying. Nobody likes fucking Trump. Nobody likes anybody pro-Israel. By next election, fuck Israel is going to be a major talking point. So when people are like, yeah, dude, the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to pull away from Israel. We're going to stop giving these idiots money. Yay! People are going to go fucking nuts. That's going to get you elected, dude. Whatever your other policies are. Oh, yeah, trans kids. I mean, maybe, as long as it's not my kid, flex a little on it. But this Israel thing, I want to see these billions come home. People are going to roll like this, all right? So it had to be fucking now. So if you're a fucking rocket scientist, if you're the smartest guy in a room, if you're a 99D chess genius, if you're a 1488D chess genius, all right, now you look at this and you say, is there a way that I can remove all of my presence, like diminish my footprint entirely in the Middle East? I could pull my people, pull my equipment out of the Middle East. Not in a way like we did in Afghanistan, where it's like breaking up with a stripper, where like shit's getting thrown at you, somebody's hanging off the hood of your car, you leave half your shit in this broad's apartment. That was Afghanistan. We don't want that. So how could we do it? What if it all got destroyed? Okay, all right, that works. So if we had everybody out of there and the shit that's left gets destroyed, what about the petrodollar? All right, well, the petrodollar, something's going to have to be done, man, because as you know, I've beat to death on this fucking thing that all fucking petroleum that's bought and sold around the world has to be done so in dollars American. That's what keeps the dollar valuable. However, comma, if Iran says, hey man, any oil going through Straits of Hormuz, you could trade it anything except dollars. That puts us in a tight fucking spot. Insofar as now there's oil being sold in not dollars, bought and sold in not dollars. So if that oil's being bought and sold in not dollars, then what happens with other oil? What happens in other places? Do people go, yeah, you know, I mean, everybody's doing this shit, right? Man, it's some toothpaste you ain't getting back in the tube. That comes unraveled real fucking fast. So that would spell an undoing for certain. And I was talking about that last time. However, comma, what if there is no oil coming out of there, really? What if they just keep fucking prodding and poking these Iranians to where they're like, dude, I'm telling you, you fuck with our infrastructure, we're going to fuck up your infrastructure. Okay, check it out. Yeah, we're going to hit some of your pipelines, hit some of your energy grid. Well, how do you like that? How's that grab you? And they're like, you motherfuckers. And now they're hitting all of this oil industry in Qatar, Oman, Saudi. I don't know how well they're hitting Saudi. I think Saudi has kept its powder pretty dry. But they are, Iran is landing some good shots and really fucking things up. And you hear people talking about this. Like, dude, things are getting really fucked up, man. Like, they're going to have to repair all this shit. Even if Straits of Hormuz open tomorrow, it's not going to be easy to start selling shit again. Everything's all fucked up. Okay, well, that's fine. Where could you get oil then? What about from the U.S.? So I'm not your oil guy. So if you are the oil guy, maybe you pipe up in the chat or whatever. But it would seem to me then, if you made a move where you're like, all right, now everybody hates Israel. Israel is getting the shit kicked out of them. I mean, I don't know if you've seen any of this stuff. There's some video leaking out of like meetings and shit that are going down in Israel, and people are talking about, dude, this army is going to fold. This country is going to fold. We can't fucking sustain like this. They're getting fucking smashed. Meanwhile, Trump is like, yeah, everything's cool. No, everything's good. Everything's going to plan. I'm going to dinner. So Israel's getting fucked up. Petroleum industry coming out of the Middle East is getting fucked up. If, and it's a big if your Trump has his ducks in a row and there is oil in the U.S. or near the U.S., and this is maybe where Venezuela could come in, I don't know how ready to move that shit is. I thought I had heard some talk that, like, Venezuela is years and years behind. I don't know. I don't know how ready to go Venezuela is. If the U.S. controls Venezuela and has maybe some of our own resources, whether that's Texas, whether that's Alaska, I couldn't fucking say. So again, this is like a big hypothetical. But if it worked out that way, that actually would be a pretty sweet move. That would be a pimp fucking move. And I'm probably giving a lot of credit where no credit is due, but it would be a pimp fucking move. Where you look at, all right, all of our people, all of our shit has withdrawn from the Middle East, and you fuckers can't do a whole hell of a lot to move petroleum because your shit is all fucked up. Iran is basically holding the reins over there, and they're pissed off at everybody. So, yeah, whatever oil you move, it can be in anything except dollars American. Well, ha ha ha, you don't have anything to fucking move. Now you've got shit coming out of the U.S., and whether that's, coming out of the U.S. From a U.S.-controlled territory like Venezuela or from Alaska, if they could get something like that up and running on short notice, I don't know. Who the fuck knows? Or where else do they do this shit? I guess the Dakotas, I think somebody was talking about. I don't know how feasible any of this is, but it sure would be cool. I mean, you would pull out of the Middle East, leave Israel to twist in the fucking wind, and maintain control of the petroleum industry all in one shot, and almost nobody has to get dead over it. That would be fucking sweet. Does it work like that? Fucking doubt it. Fucking doubt it, dude. I don't know, man. I don't really know. But it would be cool if it did. So I'm going to hold out because, I mean, apart from that, I was saying, like, I don't see how this works out. If this worked out that way, I'd have to say, yeah, dude, you fucking ran this real smooth. I don't know the guy's smart enough to pull off something like that. I don't know the pieces are in place to pull off something like that. Be cool if it did, though. It would be cool if it did. Anyway, moving along, I had a thought, man, and this kind of occurred to me while I was listening to a podcast that was put on by somebody that I knew from the special operations scene. A couple guys that put a podcast together, and specific to the community I came from. You guys could probably fucking figure it out if you've listened to this for a while. But specific to that community, there is a lot of hate. Like when somebody wants to talk about fucking operators, dude, all these guys are fucking assholes, dude. It's my community that they're talking about 99% of the time. Like, speaking of assholes, these motherfuckers, and you're like, God damn, dude, like, I don't fucking know you. But I will say that having come from that community, I did meet a lot of dudes that were assholes. And it occurred to me while I was listening to this dude's podcast, because he had this guy on, and he was talking about how shit was back in the day and some of the dudes that he came up under and some of the shit that went on during training that was, like, you don't know any fucking better. You're, 18, 19, 20, 21, some shit like this. And you're in here getting your ass handed to you. You don't know what's cool. You don't know what's fucked up. You don't know if somebody's bending the rules, breaking the rules, or if the beating you're taking right now is, part of a bigger schedule. You know what I mean? So this guy's talking about this, and he's talking about this deal where guys got pulled in on a weekend. And, like, when I went, I thought that, I really assumed that you'd be living out of a tent, just hating fucking life for the duration. And that's like, this is the suckiest thing I could imagine. Yeah, bro, it's going to suck real fucking bad, but that's what you expect. But now you show up and you see that you have time, dude. Like, you ain't getting worked on weekends. If you've got some kind of watch or some kind of duty or something, you'll have to do that. But everybody has to do that. No matter where you go in the military, you're going to have to do that. But you got your weekends. So if you want to go get fucked up, you want to go get liquored up, go do that shit. Make a fucking mess of yourself. If you want to sit and think about it, if you want to get sharp, if you want to, get your shit ready for next week, whatever you got coming down the pipe, you want to prepare. Or if you want to sit there and think about, like, dude, do I really want to do this shit? And a lot of cats would go away that way on Monday. So you have a weekend to think about shit every fucking weekend. And there, a lot of cats will say, like, well, you fucking kidding me? You get weekends off? Dude, that's part of the shitty part. That's part of what makes it suck, is having time to fucking think about it. When you're actually fucking suffering, when you're fucking cold or miserable or you're fucking tired, like, you're in it. You're fucking in it, and your boys are there, and you're like, I'm moving through it. I'm getting through it at least. It's one more day in the books and out of the fucking way. But when you're warm, dry, comfortable, and you're sitting there and you're like, fuck, dude, I got to go back to this bullshit. Fuck, dude. A lot of cats get taken away by that. But where it would cross the line sometimes, and apparently, as I hear it, they've tightened a lot of this shit up. Because you need fucking solid guys, right? I need solid guys. I don't need guys in here getting fucking hurt because somebody's got a hair up their ass and they want to fuck somebody up on a weekend, right? But before there was war on, what would happen was some instructor, would get, you got watch for the weekend, so you got to hang out here for the weekend. Make sure the place doesn't burn down or whatever, So you're hanging out for the weekend. And a lot of these cats, I'll come to the where and how. Like, some of these cats would come in, they sit there, throw in a VHS or some shit, get fucked up, and then decide, like, you know what? Fuck these guys, and call, whoever's the senior guy in the class, and like, hey, get your fucking asses in here. So the recall gets initiated, and man, you better not try some shit. Like, you would try some shit, like, don't be near your phone, dude. And this was not even everybody at the time had an answering machine, but it was still like, bro, if there's a way you could be gone somewhere else and you told dudes about it, like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna be I'm taking my kid camping, as though anybody would ever fucking do that, when you're in the middle of this shit. But if you could say some shit like that, where like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna be camping for the weekend, so if anything comes up, I'll be, out of phone contact. At least if some weird shit happens like this, somebody could be like, oh yeah, fucking Coffee, dude. He said he was taking his kid camping, so that's why he's not here. But they would do this shit where they're like, get everybody in here. And you'd get fucking roped in here, man. And you get pulled in here, and they'd have you out here on a fucking Saturday just beating your fucking ass. And you're doing, exercise, like self-destruction exercise. Like, we're going to do push-ups for the next half an hour, and you ain't getting up from that fucking push-up position. You have your ass in the air, guys are fucking fucking legs jackhammering, falling on their fucking faces. The fuck you doing? And like just fucking guys up. But I'm listening to this podcast, man, and this guy is talking about, it was fucked up, when he went back as an instructor, that you find out that doing that kind of shit is very, very over the line. Like, you ain't supposed to be doing that shit. You're fucking people up. Like, you're breaking guys that would have been good dudes. Like, solid fucking guys. But now you come in here and you're fucking tearing this guy's shoulders up, and now he's not just out of the fucking pipeline, like he's out of the military because his shoulder's fucking destroyed. Like, you ruined this dude. But dudes were doing this shit. And this guy was talking about, you lose a lot of good guys when you pull shit like this. And I thought about that for a minute, and then I thought, yeah, not just what kind of guy do you lose, but what kind of guy do you keep, And I thought about that in terms of some of the dudes that I saw growing up in that community. And when I came in, man, like, and too, I grew up around a good number of Vietnam vets, like old dudes, and you'd see these dudes. And there's a feel, dude, and I know, like, cats that have been around it, this, man. Like, when you're around, like, a violent criminal element, like, not a guy that stole a car stereo once, like a legit violent criminal motherfucker. Like, I never been, like, some kind of Sixth Sense, like, Discovery Channel weird shit or something, but I do believe, like, your brain puts two and two together, and the shit that you don't see and appreciate maybe just on its own, I think your brain kind of soaks that shit up and is like, hey, watch out around this motherfucker. This motherfucker is sketchy. Even if he ain't doing anything, he's just sitting there. So, these like violent motherfuckers, it was the same shit, and not like just violent, like sketchy. Like, this dude might just wind up and crack you in the mouth for no fucking reason. And that, like, when I got into this community, like, it was wham, like the same fucking thing. Like, you don't know what these motherfuckers are going to do. And as I was around for a while, like, I really felt like, man, maybe I just don't fit in here. Maybe I'm kind of fucked up, that, like, these cats are this way and I ain't really that way. I mean, if a guy's got it coming, I don't mind, but these cats are sketchy as fuck. And what I found out after I had been around a while was that the actual Vietnam era dudes from this community, like, these people were fucking criminals, man. These people were not just a little dodgy. Like, these people were not just a little, not a little edgy, not a little over the line. Like, these people were legit fucking criminals who should probably be locked up someplace. Even the dudes that I met that were still around, like, these were old dudes by the time I got around. And there were old guys that were like, there's always a charity case, man. Cats that are just, yeah, keep him around. You let him stay, dude. He ain't got family. He's got nowhere else to be. Guy can't barely fucking walk, but, like, you keep him around. He's all right. But you meet these old motherfuckers, man. And there was one dude I remember that was, I don't want to say his name, but this old dude, and he wasn't very big. He was kind of short, but he's like kind of one of them, not totally stumpy, stocky motherfuckers, but like kind of like a little sprightly motherfucker, like he's going to pop out of a fucking tree trunk and stab you or something, man. And this motherfucker would come around, and this guy had to be in his late fucking 50s, this guy. And I'd see this dude, like, I was still in training, and this motherfucker would come around, and he'd have this look on his face, and he would never really say much. Like, he wouldn't say anything. He was real fucking quiet. Like, he'd, like, whisper to, some instructor or some shit to come and break nuts on somebody or something. But you'd see this dude. It was only like 1 or 2 times I ever heard the dude talk, and he's talking and like a regular person, and then he's like, "Can you motherfucker, I'll fucking tell you!" Like just zap, like just over the fucking top, like launch. And you're like, "Holy fuck, man!" And like you could tell this guy wasn't fucking kidding. Like he was really like you just pissed him off some kind of way. Like this guy wanted to fucking hurt you. And these cats were they were like that, man. Even old, like you're fucking old, man. Like you ain't whipping anybody's ass, not at this fucking age, not with these kind of miles on you, man. Like hard fucking miles. You're not fucking anybody up. But you talk to them and they're still like this, dude. They're fucking sketchy, fucking hair trigger looking motherfuckers. And now you look at the dudes that grew up under them, you know, like the fucking 80s, early 90s motherfuckers. And it's like, now you start seeing, like you start putting two and two together, you know, where like, what kind of motherfucker would stick around, you know, for somebody's going to bring you in here. They're shithouse. They're obviously shithouse fucking drunk, pulling you in here on a Saturday just to fuck with you. And, you know, a reasonable person would say like, dude, I ain't breaking myself in half just because you got some kind of fucking axe to grind. So either you fuck off or just fucking send me home, dude. Fuck this. That's what a reasonable person would say. A person with self-respect, I think, would say like, yeah, dude, I thought this was a professional thing I was getting into. Obviously, this is not that. I'm fucking out, dude. I'm not breaking myself, you know, for the fuck of it. But that's what a reasonable person would say. But what kind of person sticks around? So maybe the kind of person that's like used to being abused, maybe grew up with that kind of shit. Maybe the kind of person that looks at that kind of shit and is like, yeah, dude, someday I'm going to be the person that can just fuck with people for no reason. Because, I mean, understand, like the dudes you're fucking with is like, these are hard characters. You're still just a stupid fucking student. But these are hard dudes. And they are there of their own volition doing what you're asking them to do, you fuck. And then what you ask him to do is like, hey, come in here and self-destruct, dummy. I heard motherfuckers say that. Come in here. You're going to fucking self-destruct today. And guys will come in there and give it their level best. And sure as shit, like, yeah, dude, my back's fucked up. My neck's fucked up. My shoulders are wrecked, you know, whatever. You're coming out of training, you know, looking like you just finished 2 combat deployments or some shit. Just demolished. You know, so it begs the question then, like, what kind of a community are you building when you do shit like that? But it made me think of, it kind of made me think of our thing a little bit insofar as, like, what are we imparting to young dudes that we talk to? Because especially I know, like, I mean, I think I was probably not 1.0, but maybe 2.0, you know, 1.9 or some shit. Because I did grow up seeing a lot of, like, the boots and braces type shit, and just like, why are you angry? I don't totally know. You know, I'm not completely sure. I'm not sure what's going on. But you see this shit, and then you're not quite sure exactly what's going on. You just know something's not fucking right, and you're fucking angry about it. And then what I see now, though, is like when we see, and I'm starting to see like a shift where it's a lot like what I saw in the special operations community, which I think is good. You know, guys that grew up getting fucked with and just getting beat on are looking at it and saying, instead of like, well, it happened to me, so now it's going to happen to you. So instead of like, hey, you stupid fuck, you don't know about this, or this, get your fucking shit together. Guys are actually like, oh, you don't know about this? Well, look, let me explain it to you, man. And this is going to be hard for you to take. And I know this is going to, you know, sound counterintuitive, but here's the deal. And, you know, talk it out. Let me know if you got some questions or something I can answer. And a lot of times it almost goes in reverse where like the regular person, the person you're trying to talk sense to, is going to talk shit to you. Where they're like, you know, you're so fucking stupid. Oh my God, dude, all it takes is one Google search. Oh, geez, how fucking stupid are you? And it's like the shoe's almost on the other hand, where we are making good progress and reaching a lot of people, I think because we're willing to take that opposite approach of like, yeah, dude, I know it sounds fucking crazy. Sounded crazy to me too, but hear me out. And if it's stupid, fucking ignore me. Well, where are you going for 5 minutes, dude? You don't have 5 fucking minutes to think this shit through? And we're making a lot of progress that kind of a way. So I would say, like, as we move along and as we make progress in terms of, I mean, just how many people, I mean, the shit that you see normies saying today is like, this was like the edgiest shit you could get away with posting in the day, where like you'd say something and there's going to be a bunch of boomers piling on and like, I just knew it. Oh, this, hey, follow your leader, stupid, and you would see this, but now it's like these cats are right there with you. Like they're running out ahead of us. Like one wolf said it didn't happen, and the other one says they deserved it. But to that end, I guess what I'm getting at is that the stuff I see dudes doing, the stuff I hear guys saying, things I hear guys saying in podcasts, things I see guys writing to each other, writing to people that aren't completely up to speed. It's good stuff, man. It's very encouraging, and it is a privilege to be a part of. Which reminds me, I last time I posted on the Abuse Hour deal, the last time I posted to the main channel and all, the service that I post through, it gives you like all kinds of little statistics and what have you. And I like to look at it once in a while and like, dude, I don't have a big reach. I mean, I don't have a great product, but I do get a few. I get some downloads, man. I get some play, as it were, and it gives you some stats on like where are people listening to you. And what I think is cool is that if I look at the U.S., there's like a lot of places around the U.S., and I can't always tell which are like VPNs. I think sometimes you could tell because it'll be like, there's one in London. I got a few listeners in England, and one that's in London is like right in the middle of like Trafalgar Square. And I'm like, unless, the Queen is listening to my shit, or I guess at this point the King, whatever, somebody that wears a shiny hat listening to this crummy product, probably this ain't, doing that. But I do see like there's spots all over Europe. There was one in Israel, and dude, I couldn't be more proud. I'm so fucking stoked that some tiny hat, hopefully some other tiny hat, referred this to that tiny hat, and they're like, oh, this son of a bitch, I can't believe he's getting away with he can't keep getting away with this shit. I hate that coffee. I hate him so bad. That would keep me warm at night. But I do see other stuff where like there's cats in there's cats in Germany. There's a few. There was one in Brazil, one in India. Sorry, you can't take some abuse, sir. But it is I will say a privilege to be able to talk some shit to cats around the world and hopefully give at least one or two ideas that you could cruise out and talk about. Well, you know what I heard. That I heard steroids will make your dick bigger, according to Marcus. Marcus told me steroids will make your dick bigger. Fantastic. Amazing content, incredible content, the best. Anyway, hey, before we press on to the last story for the deal, because I owed an ass-slapping story based on some stuff that came up in my chat. Before we do that, though, well, two things before we do that. I'll put out the administrative shizzle, and then we'll move on to the ass-slapping story. So, the administrative stuff, you can find this crummy product anywhere crummy products are purveyed. You can get this on your Apple, your iTunes, your Spotify, even your YouTube, and of course on Rumble, where nobody follows, but everything is permitted. Also, if you want to kick down for a coffee or become a monthly subscriber, the link for the Buy Me a Coffee thing is just there. Much appreciation to the cats that kick down. And for all your coffee needs, do go to AboveTimeCoffee.com. Above Time Coffee, a product made by white people for white people. Put it in a cup, put it in your mouth. It's for you. They don't pay me, man. I just shill. It's a good product, dude. And if you got a choice between supporting fellow whites and some Colombian, you know what to do. Anyway, so before we move on, man, here's some more input from Pepe Silvia, Pepe in the prime time. And hey, also too, man, for you, if you got you got something you want to add, dude, like it ain't no thing, man. It ain't nothing special and shit. You can just hit a guy up and like, hey, dude, I got to take, man, put it on. And if it's not, if it's completely not pants on head, shoes on hands, Dude, I'll just edit it up and put it on here. I don't care. I mean, there's no money involved, right? Like, I don't have producers that want to hear quality content. They don't want to hear quality. They want to hear you, right? So anyway, yeah, dude, if you got something, get on the Telegram, t.me/the abuse hour and associated chat rant room. You'll have to go through like, hey man, can I come in process, because we had some cats putting some weak sauce in there, and we had to lock the thing down, which is a downer, but it is what it is. So yeah, do that. And without further ado, here is some Pepe for your ass. Pepe, take it away.
Good morning. It is April 2nd, but I am still your April Fool. This is Pepe Silvia with a shot of espresso for pleasant conversation. And first things first, I would like to issue a very slight retraction. Yes, I made a mistake. I said Emmanuel can't. And for starters, he can. But secondly, whom I meant to speak of was Kierkegaard. And Kierkegaard had the definition of angst, right? Immanuel Kant had the moral imperative. It was kind of retarded if you look at the moral imperative. But it's minutiae. What I want to speak to today, and the reason I date it, is because I would like to speak about an argumentative strategy. But it is a little bit time specific, right? So what I would like to get across is that America sucks at war. Is the TLDR, right? We have this like fucking chest beating thing. A lot of us are veterans, right? And we're like, yeah, fuck you, dude. We'll fucking kick your door in and kick your teeth in. And while the mechanisms of the American war machine individually are fucking top notch, dude. Like, we got some cool shit. Make no mistake. But the theory of war, specifically the American theory of war, is absolute garbage, right? It's like, in the trash it goes. I'm a trash man. I get into your country and I eat trash and I make it trash, you know? But that's what we do. We think that we can win these things, like, basically on air power alone. Air power and special forces. And while everything we do is, like, big and loud and shiny, right? Even our little sneaky freaky stuff, we're going to blast it on news and media. Like, oh, if you don't behave, we'll put your president in timeout, right? We think that winning these teensy-weensy little engagements, this highlight reel, this clip farming that we do as a means of warfare is a substitute in and of itself for warfare, when it's not. So if we look at like what warfare is it's politics by other means, right? You're attempting to accomplish a specific goal. So if you don't properly outline your goals, you can't win, right? Because we're fighting now. It's war. Okay, pourquoi? Fucking pourquoi, motherfucker. Why? The war on terror, I guess? Like, we don't know why we're fighting. We're fighting for we have to come up with these convoluted, retarded, unachievable, and elastic reasons because we're fighting for Zog. We're not fighting for us. We're not fighting for real things. The stated goals that we fight for aren't our real stated goals ever. We're not dealing honestly, you know. And that's unachievable on the onset, right? The goal that we stated is not our real goal. So the real goal is, well, if we go back to the other thing I was talking about in one of the previous episodes, the system is what the system does, you know, pause with. The point of the system is what the system does, right? And since it also goes back to the other thing that I talked about, the pill poll, where the idea is fluid, but the words are static. Like, oh, the idea of the war on terror is whatever we need it to be, right? Oh, but the words stay there, so we can keep that same branding, that same messaging, boom, 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 right? It's a media thing. It's a Hollywood thing. It's, like I said, clip farming, and we are a pro, for the most part, fighter, slumming it, right, in street beefs or in your local bar, just flexing on people who don't know how to keep their fucking elbows in. how to throw 1-2. Like, these people are only throwing haymakers, and we're like, look at this. I could flying knee this guy in the face. Yeah, you could. He hasn't trained a day in his life. No fucking shit. You can flying knee him in the face. Look at me. Like, you're beating up the trial class guy. That's it. That's all you're not fighting like a reasonable other fighter. And then when we see another country do like a standardized normal war, we start mocking them and we start being like, oh look, you don't have any highlights. You suck because you're boring, right? They don't suck because they're boring. You suck because you don't achieve your goals. And right now, America, what goals have we achieved? I still say we. I don't know why. I'm an American, he said, dispassionately and depressed. Oof. But we are watching like the Russia-Ukraine thing, and Russia's fighting a boring war, low casualty on both sides. Like, look at the casualty of press, look at the casualty of civilians, and compare the Russian-Ukrainian conflict to just like the Gazan, the Palestinian-Israeli affair, right? Israel, I mean, for other reasons, for various reasons, is like aiming for journalists, right? Like they're on paper, right? I don't know, I'm not there. On paper, from everything that I can tell, Russia is fighting a far more moral, Russia and Ukraine for that matter, they're fighting far more moral engagements, right? They're not, they're two, people who aren't disgusting parasite people, right? So they're not trying to like murder civilians and children. They're fighting a war, and war is fought amongst men for the most part, So that's how that goes. They're fighting this boring war. They're sticking behind their jab. Their footwork is crisp and clean-ish, right? And maybe it's a little plodding. Maybe they're a little slow on their feet. Maybe it's a bit of a heavyweight bout where we're watching the guy jab, jab, cross, step forward, cut off the ring, jab, jab, cross, hook for range, hook for footwork, kind of guide you to the corner, right? This is not this like flying knee, spinning back fist shenanigans, right? That they're not clip farming. They're trying to win a war, right? And that they're sticking to the fundamentals. And we refuse to do that because those kinds of actions are slow, they're not pretty, and because of who controls us, because of like if you look at how else they purport themselves in the other industries they control, it makes complete and obvious sense just on its face, right? It should be intuitively like understood that, oh yeah, America fights wars the way we write Hollywood movies. There's a magic MacGuffin that'll save us. Oh, if we just have a plucky band of rebels to do this. Oh, if we just do XYZ. Oh, we can have it because we're brave. And you see this in this idea that like we can't lose wars. If we lose wars, it's because we didn't go all in, right? And it's silly and it's naive and it's immature. And it's just truly a significant issue, first and foremost, with the American theory of war. And because we have this Judaized, Talmudic theory of war, we can't win any engagements. And we will not win a single engagement, right? Unless we just wildly outclass them, right? Where we can kind of like technically win, right? So like Venezuela is a good example of we technically won, right? Like we went in, we got the guy, we went out. His second in control is in command, right? So we didn't like topple the regime, but that level of mafioso style tactics, right? And it takes one knowing, you know what I mean? This thing of ours. Mafioso style tactics where we're like, hey, it's a shame that thing happened to Maduro, Well, I think you're a good guy, number two. You'll play ball. I think it's some woman. I think you're a good broad. You know how to work with us. We can make a deal. Right, and so now we have the oil strategically locked down before we close the Strait of Hormuz. Like, don't get this twisted that this wasn't decently well thought out, or at least, there's some semblance of plan here. It's a Hebrew plan, but it's a plan nonetheless. So that's really what I'm getting at. Like, that's what we need to, I think the messaging that needs to be on point for this Iranian conflict is we have a bad theory of war, right? Tell everybody that is what the problem is. Tell them, like, we can't win because we don't have stated objectives. What we have to do, especially since many of us come from the right and we come from this, we often have closer ties to further right-wing type, MAGA type, Republican type people, right? Our people, our anti-Jewish people. There's a lot of inroads we can make to push those people to be more anti-war. There's a huge anti-war band already there, or slant already there, and I think we can really push what's left of the right, or our people on the right. We can cleave them away from this pro-war sentiment, because nobody wants this war. Nobody wants this war. Some people are like, yeah, we could fuck them up, right? But if you ask that person like 5 minutes ago, hey, do you want to go to war with Iran? They'd have been like, not really, you know? So that's kind of all I have to say about that. But yeah, I think we need to be on the same page here. And if that's this page that I just read, hell yeah, dog. But if it's not, so be it. But we should be on this same page, and I think we're all on this anti-war page. And I think this kind of branding that I'm pushing at this point in time might be useful to you in your political discussions with normies and whatnot. So this one went just a hair long, but I love you guys. I love our people. Judea delenda est. Pepe out.
All right, Pepe. Fantastic quality. Right, so to wrap it up then, I will give you the ass-slapping story. And it sounds stupid, but it also sort of speaks to what kind of idiotic things you can get away with if you just take the chutzpah approach and go with it like everything is cool. So there was this one time where I was in Vegas with this dude that I worked with for his birthday. So normally having a birthday is a considerable crime, and the offender needs to be punished and corrected. So what happens then is, if there's not time, you just get snatched up and you get smacked around. Maybe you get taped up a little bit and cautioned against pulling this kind of shit. But if there's time, then you can get snatched up and spirited away, and there's gonna be drinking, there's gonna be shenanigans, it's gonna be the heat. So on this particular occasion, we had a little bit of time, so we took this fucker to Las Vegas, when the moon is out over Las Vegas. So we took this cat out there, and we're boozing it up. And the deal was, like, you don't want to just go and, there's no real reason to just tell people your actual job, because most of the time no one's going to believe you anyway. And if they do believe you, then it's going to be no end of stupid fucking questions. So you just make something up, man. So usually my go-to was bread truck driver. So if we were out somewhere, we're at a bar and you're talking to some woman or something, and she's like, what do you do? And you say, like, oh, I'm a bread truck driver. Bread truck driver. So all kinds of wacky shit, but I preferred bread truck driver. Some dudes would say they were the Red Bull skydive team, which then when you think about it, it's like, well, no, that actually sounds pretty cool. You shouldn't say something that sounds really cool as a fake job. That's fucking lame. Plus, these dudes ran into the actual Red Bull skydive team, which proved awkward. So it had to be like, dudes had to pull their dicks out and, decide what's what and who's who in the zoo. So Red Bull skydive team, not so much. But bread truck driver was my favorite. I actually had one dude that stole bread truck driver from me, and he was talking to this girl, and she was like, kind of turned her nose up at him, like, oh my God. And he got pissed. This guy got fucking heated. And this guy was actually one of these dudes. He came on a bit earlier than I did, so he was still part of that. And hey, so was I. Who's kidding who? But he was very much part of that generation where it's like a little bit, loose between the ears and a little bit hair trigger, quick to violence. And this dude would hit people like at the drop of a fucking hat. This guy was always fighting. He decided he became a born again Christian later, and and I wasn't there for this trip. I'm like digressing like a motherfucker. But this dude, they called him the Oak, and because he had been like Mr. Drink Fight Fuck. But then he became born again Christian, and he was always selling Jesus to everybody. And hey, if it's your thing, I ain't knocking you. I'm just knocking this guy in particular. But he was always selling Jesus, and then there was an exercise in Thailand, and guys still tell the story. I was there when the Oak fell. Like, yeah, you slipped right back in. Slipped right in like a glove. Like a buttery glove, you weak fuck. So, this dude, though, we're out somewhere, and he's talking to some girl, and all of a sudden I hear, what the fuck? Who the fuck are you to tell me I provide a valuable service? Where the fuck would you be without some decent bread, huh? You ever try to go through a day without any bread? You think you're pretty fucking smart? Like, just going hot on this fucking girl. And she's like crying, and the fucking security's got to come and peel this guy off. And like, hey, you got to calm down, man. This is no good. And I'm like, I see the guy later. I'm like, what the fuck, man? He's like, I told this chick she's a bread truck. I was a bread truck driver. She tries flipping me some shit like, oh, a bread truck driver's not good enough for me. I'm like, dude, you're not even really a bread truck driver. Yeah, but fuck her, man. I'm like, that's a strong argument. Yeah, fuck her. But, anyway, I digress. So we're in Vegas, right? And we can't all be bread truck drivers. But we're all together, and we all know each other. So instead of being bread truck drivers, this time we're going to be the U.S. cricket team. So we, cricket, you've seen it, right? It's the game. It's sort of like baseball. The idea here is that most Americans don't know shit about cricket. I don't really know shit about cricket. I don't think any of us did. But pretty much none of us knew shit about cricket. But, you're in Vegas and you're fucked up, and everybody you're talking to is pretty much fucked up. So, like, what's the fucking difference? Nobody knows about cricket. You can just say it's not like they're going to fucking ask. So, we're in here and we're talking it up, and these girls are there, and they're doing a birthday. And I don't remember where they're from. It doesn't fucking matter. But they're doing a birthday for some friend of theirs. And we're in the Hard Rock, in the gambling area between the craps tables. And these girls are like, well, it's her birthday. Great. And they're like, what do you guys do? Oh, well, we're the U.S. cricket team. And like, cricket? What the fuck is that? What do you do? And I said, well, I'm a bowler myself. So I don't know if you ever seen cricket. And I think one of the girls had actually seen some kind of cricket somewhere. And she says, yeah, I seen it. That's the thing where you like throw it and they try to hit it and there's like sticks. And I was like, yeah, that's that. I'm the guy that throws the ball. I'm called a bowler. She's like, oh, no shit. She's like, how do you do that? I'm like, well, the deal is like you got to run. You got to keep your arms straight. And you like, whoosh, like this. And she's like, oh, well, do you want to spank my friend for her birthday? And I said, like cricket style, like a cricket throw spank. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, fuck yeah. So it's her friend's birthday. And like the fucking security is standing there watching me do this stupid shit. I'm like, all right, here we go. And, we had actually been, prior to this, we had been in Sri Lanka, and there was the Cricket World Championships on. All these motherfuckers are watching the hell out of it. So you would watch this crazy shit, and there's like little sayings that come along with cricket. Not that many, but especially like with the Australians. So the deal was like if like you throw what they would call a strike, where it would hit the fucking the wickets. But then, it doesn't, or it kind of does, or whatever the fuck. Or maybe it hits the guy, because if you throw the fucking ball and it hits the guy, now he's out. So if it looked like it hit a wicket, or if it hit the guy, then they all yell, how's that? Like, how is this? How are you fucking saying this isn't, he's out? How is that? But it looked like they spell it out like, how's that? So you could yell this shit, or you could yell, the fucking Sri Lankans always yell shot when a guy fucking gets a hold of one and launches it way the fuck over the line out there like a home run. Shot! And they all jump up yelling this shit. But so the deal was they're all fucking lined up, and the guys are fucking watching. So this chick is like bent over, and this girl's sitting on one of these stools by the gambling shit there, holding her friend's hands, and her friend is like, oh my God, this is fucking nuts. So I come a running, and fucking security guys are fucking looking right at me. They don't give a shit. And I'm like, do the big wind up in this fucking straight arm fucking swing and like crack and just zap this fucking chick right on the fucking ass. And she's like, yipe! And like fucking jumps up and her friend is laughing her head off. And all the fucking dudes are like, how is that? And it was a good time, man. If you get a chance, yeah, I'd do it. If you get a chance, I don't know, you could even do that shit now. Probably like some chick would ask you to do it and then immediately file charges. And God forbid they ever found out where you work. They'd try to turn it into some kind of workplace-related violence or some shit. You can't do a thing with these people. Anyway, so that's about all I've got, man. We'll leave it there. Me, I'm gonna be traveling somewhere exotic. I'll tell you where after. But I am gonna try, if I can, I'm gonna try to put out some material while I'm gone, just to help pass the time for the cats at work, and the cats gutting it out in Thunderdome or whatever, dude. I'm hoping. I'll tell you where I'm gonna go after I get back. It would be bad form to tell you while I'm fucking there. But yeah, hopefully I don't get stuck in this semi-remote locale. The whole world goes tits up, and now I'm stuck out here. I'm gonna have to ride, back to the old hometown on a stolen horse or some shit. I'll just hope it doesn't go like that. Anyway, till next time, leave this shit where someone could find it, because as we always say, the world needs more people like us. And until we meet again, keep your eyes on the horizon, keep your neck out of the noose. I have been Coffee. These are my takes.